So, welcome everyone to session 2 of Shadows of Esteren. I am your gaze master, Mark, and I have with me a bunch of mystery hunters about to go and visit a very strange village today. If you want to go and introduce your characters.
Tom Holodowry, I'm a Dvoran from Tragazel and KYR. I'm a former noble. I'm poor. I have been horribly wounded by an adversary. I almost said I was incontinent. I'm inconstant. Inconstant is a weird way to say that. That's the way the book says. But I am free.
Okay.
Also, I'm Ractus.
And I'm going to be playing Alfie, the mercenary peasant crossbowman, who signed on with this little expedition for a bit of coin. He is quite unthinking, but is a unswervingly singular being who's starting to kind of harden himself to the bullshit of the world and all that can throw at him. Cheers.
All right. I'm Griffin, and I'm playing Simon Baxter, the magic scientist researcher, who's addicted to opium and is probably richer than everyone else was, but then spent all of his money. And he's dragging around these other losers with him to go and find out a few different things.
Yeah, and I go by lessons learned or lessons. You want to go short? I'm playing Julius Amon, a noble who lost his family to a horrible fire. He's a Tricasilian and occultist, and he's with this little expedition because he believes he can find the secrets that his grandfather left behind, and the reason why his family was torched, literally to death.
Awesome. Okay, so a little bit of a warning about today's session. There are going to be some dark and mature themes. If this gets too much, I just want you to give me the X symbol, and we'll move on from that scene. But that is the nature of Shadow of Esteren. Okay, so last we left, you had just left Lower Mudan, and you are now heading to Higher Mudan. And you've been stopped on the road by a group who have
I
come
think we didn't
from.
even leave the city yet, did we? Yeah, this was at the gate, wasn't it?
No, you were just heading up the road to Higher Mudan.
Okay.
Yeah. The way that they're dressed is kind of drab, really. They're in kind of these like plain like grey robes, and they have some spears in their hands. One of them steps forwards and kind of looks you over and says, "And what be you doing on the path?"
We're just heading up into the mountains, sir.
He kind of nods and says, "All right, head into the mountains." Well, there's only one way the path heads, and that's up to here. And what would he be
sir.
And what would he be wanting with us fine folk then? And he noticed that the others kind of like their hands like tense on the spears.
Oh, nothing at all, sir. If you just step aside, we'll just be on our way. Nothing to worry about.
I'm afraid I can't do that. We'll happily escort you to the gates.
To the gates?
Yeah, to the gates of our fine village. But we can't, in an all good nature, leave you alone on these paths.
Is he saying like backwards towards Medan or?
No, it's the same to their village,
Oh,
to High Mudan, yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but we can't pay you. We're absolutely broke.
He nods and says, we have no need of payment. We just simply want to make sure that you stay on the road.
That seems perfectly amicable to me.
That's usually
Yeah.
what roads are for. So
Cool, okay. So, we'll now take you to High Mudan, and there is a little map.
ooh, map.
map time.
Hey, this is a tiny little village.
Yeah. It's like a typical kind of Celtic village, essentially.
Hillsford, yeah.
Cool. Let's zoom in. Yeah, so it's got the kind of the palisade all around it, and it's set in a kind of a dense forest. Outside of it, there is like a hut with some fire coming out, some smoke coming out of it, and then up going to the gates. Then you notice that it kind of seems to almost regress a little bit in like technology.
Mm-hmm.
So like the road's like fairly well maintained, but like when it gets to a certain point, it looks like it hasn't been maintained at all, and then it just kind of like hits the village wall.
Less than a road, more like a path.
Yeah. So they follow you. They don't stay too close, but they just kind of keep an eye on you, walking behind you as you make your way up to the village. The village gates are open.
What are
You go
community
in.
ovens?
Yeah, that's where the fires are coming from.
Okay. I guess I'm just not familiar with the concept.
Oh,
I guess it's just
it's
where everyone goes to cook stuff.
it's something unique to this village, which you have to discover.
Well, I figure if we're
Okay.
walking past it, it's easy to discover.
Yeah,
Probably like a building.
It seems to be a building that's for ovens, essentially. And you can ask your guides about them if you want.
Yeah. Say, what's that?
Oh, that's the community ovens.
What's
you
a community
see,
oven? I just repeat the question I asked in the first place.
Yeah. Well, we don't allow fire within the walls of our village, and so we've assigned one of our own to basically do our cooking and anything that needs fire outside of the village.
Seems like a good precaution against
Yeah,
flame, I guess.
And why is
well,
that?
Because fire is inherently evil, and from what's it called, the spirit again? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, one of the is from the time of the Egoin, from the fire spirit, and we do not want that within our walls.
That must be very cold existence that you have here.
Right, it must make winters kind of intolerable.
We may do.
Right.
Bathing in winter. It'll kill you. I bathe
Bathing
with
it
sand.
all.
Yeah, I'm also going to point off to the right of the gate and say, hey, you have a giant hole in your gate.
Yes, it needs maintaining.
Well, not maintaining. It needs to be fixed. You
Who knows?
maintain something that's still up. You repair something that's broken.
Well, it is
Simon here, I'll
hard
tell you all about it.
without harming the land. It is hard to source materials to fix things
Really?
around here.
Strong wind, a rainy season, trees fall over all the time.
Of course.
It's the natural cycle of things. Hell, even
Oh,
fire.
wait, are you telling me you won't even source any lumber for your village?
That is correct.
Oh, that makes things rather inconvenient then, doesn't it? One tree won't change anything, right?
They get a very nervous look as when you say that, and they say, "That's not true. Any harm to the land is an affront to nature."
I mean, they do regrow.
You will learn our ways. And they kind of like escort you into the
When he says that, I just squint.
the
In
village.
the many years that we
Right.
plan to keep you
And I just-
hostage.
Yeah, and I just shrug kind of obliviously and go, it's like, well, I'm not here to criticize anyone anyway. I'm just passing through.
Just
Yeah.
seems unlikely in this heavily forested region, as you can tell by the background of the map, that
Yeah.
If they just
that
like
a
far
rainy
enough-
season or a windy season just doesn't knock trees over, because that's the natural occurrence of things as the dirt gets, weakened by time.
Well,
Oh, they're gonna hate it. There's like a lightning strike and there's a forest fire.
Well, yeah, even that. They're all natural things. You can use things that are naturally occurring.
Yeah, we're just like sitting here between ourselves going like, these people are already crazy.
I'm not like Simon. I'm not propagating the deforestation through, axes and logging. I'm just saying that if a
I
tree
never
falls,
said that.
if a tree falls over, you might as well use it.
As I go
Well-
in, I throw my last cigarette to the not my last cigarette. I probably have like 4 or 5 packs, but I just throw it in the ground and put it out. Like I don't want to, start a fight just because I wanted to smoke.
Oh, that 4
I
or
guess
5 pack happened today. That's really gonna kill you. Or it
Well,
might.
yes, once they get in there, you'll need a lighter.
Yeah, so they you were taken through to the village, and you notice that while they do have kind of crops, again they're not doing anything like digging into the earth or anything like that. They're just like kind of growing things. They won't use any kind of tools or anything like that because they believe that it will scar the ground.
I believe that these
Oh.
people, if these people could find a way to float just above the earth, they would try just not to touch anything.
Again, you get this kind of this sense of this kind of warped community, and everyone in these drab, grey robes, kind of milling about, going about their. It's like when you go into kind of yeah, I would say like you go into a cult compound, and everyone is currently at their job at the moment.
Mhm.
Kind of, there's some people farming, there's some
So I
people.
guess then the workshops are making shit that they can sell to travelers.
They're
And
making beads, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah, so you head into the kind of around about here, and you notice that everyone kind of like stops what they're doing and kind of looks over.
Hello, everybody.
He's
They all
talking.
smile and wave back.
See, they're friendly.
I mean, at the
Right.
very least, I feel as though I've got some sort of social shield around me. being a Demorhead, I feel like at least I look a little bit less like you people.
Define you people.
Yeah, it's like you people, huh?
White people.
What?
Dang, you got me there.
Oh yes, the cake in mud really helps to sell it, right?
No, actually, I bathed. Remember,
Oh yes,
against your better wishes, I bathed.
Yeah.
I actually make it. Never mind.
That's all right. I brought some soap.
Yeah, we all can flash back to the 5-minute conversation of "Don't go to the bathhouse." Julia
I
said.
I didn't say not to go to bathhouse. Never mind.
Yeah. So at this point, a young woman kind of steps forwards. Got a picture of her. Yeah, here she is.
Sure, yeah. Hey. It's them.
Say, at least they braid their hair. That's, I guess, not against the nature.
Well, that doesn't require anything. You can braid hair with hair.
True enough. Okay.
I mean, an argument would be made, what the hell is that gemstone that's sitting in the center of her hair piece thing? That had to be taken from the ground.
Is that
That's
a
it, picked it
gemstone? It
off-
just looks like a
off the
headband.
floor.
No, in the middle of it.
It's actually just a nice rock.
Had to take it from the ground.
Found it on the floor.
Stealing from
I
nature.
mean, one has to wonder how the granary works at this point.
So she smiles and approaches you and says, "Welcome to High Medan. How can I help you?"
Oh, well, pleasure to meet you. I'm Simon Baxter, and me and my compatriots are simply moving through, down the road, up into the mountains.
I see. But what has brought you to us?
Well, I would say perhaps the 5 gentlemen behind us.
Real quick, out of character aside. Before any of us gets confused, like I am. We are here for a reason. This is actually an out of the way that we've taken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you for reminding. So, what's the purpose?
Well, that's what I was saying, because you were
Okay.
saying it like we were out here not on purpose. We are
Yeah.
here. Someone's missing, right? We're here to find
Yeah,
somebody.
Yeah.
You're looking for Anais' son,
Right.
who had been taken in by the cult. Oh, a father abducted him and then took him to the cult.
So I
Yeah.
don't think we mentioned that in our last time on. So
No.
Right. Simon will lie and say, well, these 5 gentlemen behind us, I suppose.
Yeah, at that point, Anais steps forward and says,
True.
"I'm looking for my son."
forgot they were with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they're here with us.
Then goes, "Okay, your son. And why is he here?" "He was brought here by his father against his will." "Nobody is brought here against their will. They simply choose to come here."
Well, then you wouldn't mind if we saw him and had a talk, would you?
"Well, that would be up to his father." "Who is his father?"
I thought they had their own will. If they came here
And
of his
then-
own will, why does he have to ask his father to talk to us? If he has his own will, you could ask him if he wants to talk to us. Just saying.
And at that point, Anais says, "His name is Farian." "Ah, yes. Farian and Aiden. I know them well."
Okay. What the gentleman said makes perfect sense. And we talk to this Farron then?
And then she basically goes to get and gets one of the villagers to go and fetch them. A few minutes pass. Nobody really says anything. Okay, and it's kind of just like this uneasy silence
Yeah.
as you've got all these people just kind of staring at you, smiling.
Alpha's probably gonna sniff, take a
Hey.
quick swig from his flask, kick some mud off his boots,
I'm
kind of
just
stare at the ground.
I would have a question. Since I can see it on the map, and I'm not trying to be that way. Is there
Yeah.
any way that I would know that this town has its own Demorhen?
Oh yeah, you do know. You were told in the last town that basically it's mostly his word that's been influencing things going on in this
Okay,
town.
so he's like town elder status.
Yeah.
Cult leader town elder status. He's the hi guys, I've made some Kool-Aid guy.
Oh, if
Yeah.
they actually made some Kool-Aid, they will be dead. People tend
Yeah.
to forget about that part about the Kool-Aid.
Well, you got to
Hey,
remember
I think
that these
that's-
guys knew what Kool-Aid was before, which means that they drank plenty of Kool-Aid before the last Kool-Aid.
So yeah, this young boy, well, not young boy, he's about 16 years old, and his father are brought across. The father immediately recognizes Ananias and kind of looks around and says, "And what are you doing here?" "I've come for my son." "Your son?" "He belongs to no one now." "What do you mean?" "He
That's
belongs."
funny. Lem just suggested he belonged to you.
"We look after each other here. We are all one community. The only thing that we belong to is Mardacht."
Do I know what that is?
"No."
Well, that's all well and good to have a community, but all we really want to do is see and speak with them.
Hold on, what's Mardocht? Or who is
I-
Mardocht?
What you say that?
There you go.
Then them kind of
The smile.
looks around, it kind of smiles and says, "Mardacht is who protects us."
Is it like a physical person, or is it like a being greater than us all?
"The Lord of the Roots protects us from the Feyond.
Okay,
and
let me
keeps the land
rephrase that.
pure."
Let me rephrase that. Is that somebody I can literally go and talk to right now?
If he's Lord of the Roots, I don't think he can.
"Not without the permission
Do you remember the
of the
cave
dwarf man."
expedition we just had a little while ago? Don't be waving things out, Alfie.
"Not without the permission of the dwarf man."
Oh, can I go talk to Demorhan then? I am a Demorhan myself. It'd be nice to reconnoiter with one of my own.
"Yes, but only you."
That's fine. Hey guys, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I'm not gonna think anything. So, this not young man, and I pointed to, is here as part of the community, correct? So I guess he can have a good confab, as it were, with his mother, hashing things out, and we shall depart. While our friend here talks to the keeper of the entity that protects
Well,
your
you are welcome to go to our common house and have yourself a drink there. Well, we take Anais and Ferian with us to have a little chat about how to proceed.
Well, as long as you two can talk it over as gentlemen, then I see no reason. Why not to just stop and have a little drink?
Oh,
You say so.
yes. Raf here and Geoff, they are going to come with you just to make sure you see your way around town.
Well, all right.
Okay. So,
I pull aside. What's his name? I apologize. Ooh. H. Alfie.
okay.
There you go.
Thinking that it may come to a sudden bout of violence at any moment. These people are too twitchy. So if our companions decide that we're a danger, to defend ourselves. I wish to avoid it. I'm sure they wish to avoid it.
Yeah.
Better be prepared.
Well, as far as I know, honest people generally aren't this friendly, so I think you're right.
The smiles are they're too ready with smiles for my taste. I adore friendly people. That's why
Yes,
sometimes
well.
I visit a whorehouse from time to time. But still,
I think this will be one time I won't be drinking from that tavern. I think I'll just he's gonna tap his hip flask. I think I'll just keep on my own.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, these these two men, about
Accompanies.
middle-aged, look fairly similar. They might be brothers, and they kind of stick close to you, kind of always watching you as they lead you over to the common house. Another villager leads Drumhal over to the Morphin's hut. Again, not sticking too close, but close enough that you feel their presence and kind of that they're kind of watching you.
They know they're there. We know they're there. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Professor,
Yes.
I think we have stepped on it. This place, these people, might be under the influence of something greater than themselves.
I'm sure that's true, but perhaps if we're in and out quickly, it doesn't have to be any of our business.
True.
I do
We
feel
should-
slightly off that we lost the art of subtlety already, but well, I guess as long as our friend is having a pleasant talk and everything goes well, then I guess we should be fine, right?
Our friend here is very blunt. That might not help.
True.
I mean, sometimes it does. I mean, speaking clearly, sometimes helps. But it's like playing dice. You can win and you can lose. You don't know, only know until you roll.
That's true. But at least his bluntness does a favor for us. I have the feeling I know where he would stand on these issues, and I guess if he makes himself clear, well, we'll have this thing solved very quickly then, won't we?
Well, I'm afraid that the whole concept of purity is the one that worries me. People who are willing to not, I don't know, there's something off here. I've seen happy people faking being happy. I've done it myself in the past, you know, to ease people. But this is a bit too much.
Actually, that would be a relevant GM question. Could I, as a person with the relation skill, inspect just how happy these people are?
Yeah, you can. I'm not going to tell you the difficulty of that, but yeah.
Sure, let's do it. They're fine and honest folk.
Actually, as a matter of bringing up skill-related stuff, the occult stuff of Julius, didn't we mention before that it's also like used in therapy and whatnot? Wouldn't Julius be able to tell through occult if they're...
That would be kind of funny.
Well, I think you can. I don't have this. I didn't train on this specific like hypnosis that
Yeah,
helps
it's just-
people.
yeah.
Help people to essentially forget that they have gone through a traumatic experience.
Right, but if you don't have the specialty, it's not the same as like rolling about a skill.
Yeah, no, I have knowledge about the occult, but I don't necessarily mean that I know about a cult, which is I know seems it's related linguistically, but not.
Sure, it's like blood types.
Yeah, thematically, I suppose.
A,
It could be a
O,
cult. It could be a
negative,
cult
B.
Coca-Cola. I don't know. Yeah.
So we now go to Doomhal being led to the hut. The villager that was with you opens the door, says for you to wait outside, goes in. Then it's like a short conversation through the door, and then he steps out and says, "The Demorphin Neventa is not here at the moment, but his Iothan is. If you wish to speak with them,
Remind me what an Iothan is. I've already...
trainee."
Okay, so
Yeah.
somebody on my level, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, you take him through. Do I have a picture of? No, they were not important enough to have a picture. Okay.
I guess I'm actually somewhere in between. Because an Iothan wouldn't have stones and whatnot, and I do, but I'm not like full-fledged yet, so I'm in a middle zone.
Yeah. Just get details of this particular character. And yeah, okay, cool. So you went into the hut. It looks like you've been around the Morphin huts before, and this looks nothing out of the ordinary. The same symbols, the same kind of herbs and stuff for rituals. The Ofen is probably early 20s, with jet black hair, and he's in the same kind of garb that all the villagers are wearing, but there's kind of these like crude, kind of like geometric shapes, kind of just to denote that they're a bit more important than the rest of the villagers.
You mean like painted on or stitched in? Or
Oh, stitched in, yeah.
sort of like what Lem is doing.
Yeah, you notice that there's like kind of the villagers have like the drab clothes, and like the ones that are important have a little bit more fancy, but not much.
Right.
He kind of nods as you come in and says, "I'm sorry, but the Morphin Inventor is not here at the moment. He is performing the rites for a birth at the moment. How can I help you?"
I just thought we could have a little chat about what's going on here.
Oh, of course, of course. And he just kind of pulls up a chair for you to sit down, and sits down in his own.
Yeah, please take a seat.
And what did you want to know about what's going on in our town?
Is the other guy still here, by the way?
Yes, he's standing by the door.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Could you tell me about the Lord of Roots?
Of course, yes. He is the one that protects us from the outside, from the Phaeond.
Okay, and where did he come from?
He lives in the forest.
I mean, when did he come to, say, Neventer? I'm assuming Neventer is the one that brought this to everybody else's attention.
That's correct, but he hasn't told me everything.
He hasn't told you the history of his revelation?
No, he has not.
I see. How long have you been here?
Oh, I have only been training underneath him for a few years now. But
clarify for me. Are you born here, or were you born here, or did you come here to train under Neventer specifically?
I was born here.
Okay. So Neventer rose you up from...
That is correct.
Understood. And you've been training for a couple of years, you say?
Yes, he's been showing me some of the rites to appease Mardacht.
But specifically only Mardacht, not any of the other...
Well, Mardacht is the one that protects us.
Right. But you know, nature in general being what it is.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. He's been teaching me the ways of the pure.
All right, well, what has he taught you specifically about Mardacht?
But Mardacht? That Mardacht is the Lord of the Roots and protector of us all.
Sure, I mean, could you give me something more specific? Say that I, an outsider, wanted to, I don't know, surround myself in this... Teach me. Pretend that I am your Aerothan.
Okay, it's going to require the Morphin Mysteries.
All right. That's a difficult check.
Okay.
That's not even Sigil Rian, which is what I'm good at.
Mardacht is the great dispenser of life, the one that safeguards the spirit's forests, guaranteeing the community is never threatened by Phaeondus. Of course, in order to appease Marat, that there must be sacrifices.
There we go.
Up until that last part, how mainstream to Moorhen did that sound?
Fairly, until the sacrifices.
Yeah, until that last part.
No, actually, no. Sacrifices are part of.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, but I'm assuming that the gist that I'm getting is that the sacrifices aren't the normal sacrifices.
Well, it all sounds fairly on board. And you get the sense that this is what he knows. Like, there may be more to it, but it sounds fairly okay. You'd be a bit more worried if, like, the sacrifices were, like, every week or something like that. But if they're only, like, now and again to appease the spirits, then, yeah, it's okay.
Right, but I mean,
It's
there's
just-
certain things
it's
that you don't sacrifice. So that's the point.
Yeah, it's just that it's probably a more extreme version of your religion than you're used to. It's like it's the difference between like what are they called, like normal Catholics and Jesuits or something like that. You know, like super extremists.
Hmm.
Is that all I really get?
Yeah, that's all you really get, really.
Hmm.
It sounds it's they're like from your role, something does feel off, but you don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
And you get a sense that he doesn't know everything that's going on.
Would it be
He's
alright
told you everything.
if I just stayed here and waited?
What, for Naventa?
Yeah.
I don't think you would allow that. But
Well,
you are
you're gonna be
you're
here,
welcome.
right?
Yes, but you're welcome to go and stay in the common house. We'll come and get you when Naventa calls upon you.
Would it be possible for me to bear witness to Naventa's ritual? I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a newborn.
I'm afraid that though you are, you know, though you are a partaker of our religion, you are not one of the pure. If you were to become purified, we might be open to taking you to a ritual.
What would that involve?
It requires the test of the spirit.
Sorry, are we playing the vague game here? What's you just tell me?
I'm afraid if you are to accept, then of course we will go through the ordeal in greater number, but we cannot reveal our ways to the non-peer.
All right, and if I wanted to go through such a test, when that be done?
Well, it will be done. It will last a few days. It is a trial. It will not be easy, but after you complete it, you'll be noted as one of the pure, and we could probably do it. He kind of looks around. Maybe tonight. We'll start the trial.
All right, well, I guess let Dementor know that I seek the trial.
Oh, very good, very good. He nods and says, "Well, may Marduk bless you."
And you.
All right.
I mean,
And
that's the
then-
old Catholic response. I'm sure that doesn't play well in the Druid culture, but whatever.
Yeah.
May God be with you and you.
And the emotions for the villager to kind of escort you out, and you're taken back through the village to the common house.
There, I gather with you people once more.
Yeah. So
Oh, welcome back.
you have been given this. It kind of looks like beer. And it looks like it's just kind of like poured out of like a huge kind of barrel. And you notice that all the workers have all come off their like fields and things like that, and have just all come into this one communal hall, and they're having food now.
Okay. Well, this is a
Hmm.
perfect time to talk with them then. I'd like to socialize, make friends, talk with people, ask them how their day's been, what's been going on recently, as have the crops been coming in well and all of that.
Okay.
And sort of part of the reason for this is trying to fish out, well, what about the person we're looking for and how they've been? What work
Yeah.
have they been doing?
Yeah.
Things
So
like that.
while that's going on, Lem walks in with Therian and with Ananias
Mhm.
and says, "We have come to a decision. In a week's time, there will be a trial for the child. If the child is chosen to stay here, the child will stay here. The mother denounces all claims on the child. However, if the child is in the favor of the mother, then Therian will denounce all claims of the child. The child will no longer belong to the group and may go with the mother."
That's sort of interesting. What do you make of this, Domhall?
I mean, it seems fairly obtuse, but it's whatever they've decided.
Hmm.
So what's the
When
kid's
did they
name
say this
again,
trial
by the way,
was?
out of character?
Yeah.
What was that?
What's the kid's name again, out of character?
It's Aiden.
Okay. Okay, so the other person was a townsfolk. Okay, sorry, I was confused for a second. It's like, that's not
That's
the
fine.
name written under his face.
There's right. So Therian is the father.
No, I got
Aiden
that.
is the son.
Lem, but you said a third name, which wasn't Aiden, that I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And when did they say this trial was going to occur? I think they said
It's a
in the
week.
statement a week.
In a week's time, yes.
Ah, a whole week. We can't just leave Grace alone. Guess we'll have to stay here.
I think that was a good idea.
Lem says, "Oh, you'll be put up in one of the houses for sure." But we
Thank
cannot.
you. I appreciate the
I
hospitality.
mean, I'll be
We
here for
cannot-
a few days anyway, so.
We can't allow you to leave, unfortunately, while the trial is going to be ongoing because, well, of contamination from the outside. So
Yep, gotta be made pure.
you'll. Oh, you have chosen to take on the
Yep,
trial.
I'm on the trial.
Oh, very good. Well, that means that you'll be able to speak at the trial, in if you so wish. Are any of you, the rest of you, wishing to take on the trial of the pure?
No thanks.
Being with
I'm-
these people
I'm
is
good.
trial enough sometimes, but
I
that
don't
was a
think
joke.
I don't think that would be a bit good to your community, and I wish not to insult anyone here. So,
Of course, and it is not everyone's path. But we shall
Yes.
take you. He's pointing to Doomhal and says, "We shall take you probably tonight to the forest, where the ritual will be done. You will have to stay in the forest for 2 to 3 days, and then if you emerge, then you will be noted as one of the peer."
I mean, I'm a Demoran. I can live anywhere. The world is my home.
You notice that when you're talking about the trial and all this, that a young girl about the same age as Aiden.
I do have,
She
I
has
do have a,
got. She has
I
got like
do
a.
have a question about purity. If our companion here takes a trial, and I'm sure he will pass with flying colors, such as it were, is he free to leave?
Yeah, he's free to leave. That he's just be counted as one of the pure and welcome here.
I'm sure there must be some cleansing ritual he must perform every time he enters the village, just to make sure that he doesn't bring anything from a nasty.
No. If the spirits deem him pure, then he is pure.
Oh, simplifies a lot of things.
And what if he's not deemed pure? You said if he emerges, he'll be pure. Do people
Yeah,
not
well,
emerge?
if he's not, if he doesn't emerge, then well, he's dead.
Or he left. Out of here.
So,
Yes, that's exactly what's happening here. Thank you for clarifying that point.
Yeah, so
we shan't bother you anymore. This is very, very busy. I'm sure you have to prepare and all of these things. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. We have to get ready for the trial. As
of course.
I will inform you later. I will take you over to meet the jurors, who will be overseeing the trial. But we'll do that before the ordeal begins, and so we can get that ritual out of the way. So while that talk is going on, and you notice them mentoring the kind of the ordeal, the trial by the spirits, and things like that. This young girl, about the same age as Aiden, here she is, Trine. She's the only one that's not wearing that fake smile. Well, it's there, but the mask is breaking, and she looks nervous.
How tall is she?
Oh, she's not that tall. Like probably about 5 foot, if that.
compact.
Well, I'm sure somebody will. And I sort of point in a vague directions. I'm sure somebody will help us settle in. That way, we again do not commit any.
Oh yes.
Mistakes. I think this young woman has volunteered to do so. She's very friendly and capable to do so. Isn't that right?
The two that were like designated to stay with you, Raph is kind of like balding and he's got this long beard. He kind of laughs. Trine? No, Trine is nothing but problems. No, we will be looking after you in here.
Oh,
in the village.
That is cold. I mean, I would never say something like that of a young woman. But I'm sure you know her. But when he says trouble, I'm actually looking at her, seeing how she reacts, right? Because we're talking about her, but not to her. But I'm looking at her, like,
yeah.
Does she change? Does she get angry when he says trouble? Worried?
Oh, she just kind of like thinks and kind of like looks down. You notice that there are bruises on her face and like on her arms.
Okay, I don't like these people. Officially, I don't like these people. I don't know. I'm sure that we'll take care of whatever it is that you have to do.
And yeah, so they kind of what they do is they sit either side of you. So like the four of you can sit together, but like because this is like on a long bench next to like these long communal tables, they sit at either side of you. and they just kind of keep an eye on you, now and again having some of their food. They don't really speak to you.
And what exactly are they eating?
Like, it seems to be some kind of fungus, or yeah, mushrooms.
Mm.
Okay, can you make a
Ooh, check.
Yeah, everyone's gonna make this check.
Oh dear.
It's going to be
Natural environment.
perception. Just
Hey.
trying to remember all my systems.
I was hoping it was one of
Yeah.
those living off the land rules to recognize what these things are.
No. Okay.
I didn't crit fail, but I did fail.
So the ones with the 13s,
Mhm.
you notice that there is like a separate table with several of the villagers there. The interesting thing is that they've all got these like hoods up, and they've all got like a veil across their face.
Oh. And so I'm guessing if they have a veil across their face, they're not eating, or if they are, it's like going underneath.
Yeah, kind of lifting, eating, putting down.
Hmm. What do you make of those?
I mean, if they want to come over and have a chat, then fine with them.
I don't think they will.
No.
And I lean to Professor. You notice the bruises on the young girl?
I have. Do I have anything? I got my bandages.
I mean, one thing to say, sometimes you do have to, spare the rod, the child, but it seems that either she's a repeat offender or these people like to really pick on the smallest runt of the village. Either way, I'm putting that on the
And here we are for a week.
things not to trust.
Yeah, it's
I
awfully
pulled out a little
convenient.
bit.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
It's awfully convenient we can't go back to Mudan as we're waiting. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who's so, you would think that people who are so obsessed with purity would want to get rid of us as soon as possible.
Well, just don't go starting any fires or anything, I suppose.
And when you say that, you see his hand tremble a little bit. It's like, yeah. Well, I guess I can ask to step outside for a moment or two and then come back.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, how have you been lighting your nicotine habit here? Do you have just like a matchbook or an actual artifact
matchbook.
lighter?
No,
Okay.
like a matchbook, yeah.
People aren't freaking out about fire.
I'm not. That's why I'm not smoking. That's why my hands.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you just said you were stepping outside to smoke. That's why I thought Griff brought it up.
Oh,
No, I will eventually, but when it gets the
Yeah,
chicks get real back. But right now,
Yeah, I'm establishing Chekhov's gun right now, where later on we burn down the whole village. with
I
a
was gonna say,
matchbook.
here's the real thing: is your nicotine addiction gets so bad that you want to join the trial, so you go out in the woods and smoke one.
I don't think so. I think asking for them to escort me to outside the gates would be fine.
Mhm.
And we never saw Julius again.
I mean, I'll do it in daylight.
And we never saw Julius again.
Okay.
Okay, so it's so you want to you go about asking about what's going on. Can you make this is just going to be for the overall, for the gist of like what you get from the townsfolk. Can you make me a relation roll?
Let's do it. 8.
Okay, Literally, all you get from them is their names and
Mhm.
what they do in the town, and it's usually like, I work on the fields, I sew the clothes, I make the ale. Anything else, if you try and push past that, they immediately, like, the smile kind of sinks, and they say they don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate. No one's really good at small talk around here.
No one named Simon anyway.
There's some
Okay.
success at least. Technically.
The time comes. You kind of like have your food and stuff for that, and it's getting to about early evening. Lem comes back in and introduces you to this group of people. Luckily, it's all one image, so there we
Yeah,
go.
becoming a real village in here.
Meet the jury. Play 80s theme song in the background.
I mean,
Okay,
I was
oh,
going to Bohemian Rhapsody kind of vibe.
They all look so happy to see us. Oh my god.
Yep.
I guess I was thinking more Price is Right. You know. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. You're the
Yeah,
next
so
election on the jury. Come on down.
kind of like very briefly introduced to them.
Mhm.
Like, this is Elvin, this is Adol, this is Movan, and so forth. And then they kind of like moved on to their next station. But Lem says, like, you're welcome to get to know them over the next few days. After all, they will be residing over the trial.
I see.
Do
As
now that I notice the bruises on the young girl, do I notice other people also seem to sport bruises as well?
well, there are, like, on the younger folk, particularly there is, but none so much as her. So it definitely seems like it's some kind of form of punishment that's been done, because it's on the younger folk. But yeah, and they look fairly fresh as well. So she's a bit more battered than the rest.
Hmm.
Okay, I just got to find the rules of this thing that Doomhell's about to go through.
Oh boy.
It's my spirit quest. Sorry, vision quest. I'm sorry, walkabout. I'm sorry. Any other nameless word for going into the wilds and surviving on your own.
The spirits test. All right, here we go. Okay, Demorphin Devinter enters into the common house with two men who have ropes and like like stakes. It looks like,
Oh yeah, I was hungry.
and he points to Doomhell and says, "Are you ready for the test, my son?"